Hello, and thank you for attending our talk. I'm Jolene Armstrong with Monique Tschofen. We are both Canadian comparativists who have spent the last 5 years working with the feminist research creation collective, the Decameron Collective, creating work at the intersection of scholarship, literature, and digital design. Our new works with each other have moved us in the direction of environmental humanities. In this presentation and project showcase, we introduce Solastalgia, our scalar-based collaboration that speaks to how our respective geographies, one marked by floods, the other by wildfires, bear uneven witness to environmental change. Built at the intersection of interactive documentary, new media poetics, and citizen science, Solastalgia reimagines the epistolary genre as a dialogical exchange across two scalar bands: letters, soundscapes, data, mapping, personal and archival images move an inquiry into the twin devastations of water and fire, cultivating perception and response without collapsing complexity into a single narrative. The project's conceptual cornerstone is Glenn Albrecht's notion of solastalgia, the existential and lived experience of negative environmental change manifested as an attack on one's sense of place. Through a call and response that veers into many different sources of acknowledgement and affective resonance, our collaboration translates the term into a correspondence of mourning and witnessing. Through this work, we seek to hold ecological grief as a shared generative condition, one that demands new modes of listening, creation, and cohabitation. Solastalgia proposes digital dialogism as a method for reimagining both environmental humanities scholarship and the possibilities of collective care in a world on fire. Albrecht's understanding of solastalgia gives name to a lived, affective condition that resonates with our own experiences of ecological grief and captures the sorrow and distress we are encountering in real time, a grief in progress emerging from the visceral, embodied act of witnessing a world in climate crisis. The media forms needed to support the kind of thinking we think the crisis requires were nonlinear and rhizomatic, able to hold ambiguities without resorting to arbitrary conclusions, affective, situated, and integrated, documentary, but in a very personal, responsive, living document kind of way, using principles we learned through embodied documentary practice. Artistic, it was really important to us that our responses, observations, and ideas could be communicated through artistic expression as a legitimate and important way of understanding and thinking through the urgent problems of the polycrisis. The epistolary form invites dialogism, the premise being that life and experience is a shared event that we participate in through relationality or dialogue with others. This dialogue depends on response, and that response is relational since it originates from the unique position or location or moment that we each occupy. Our dialogic format allows us to build perception and experiences into deepening understanding that never abstracts or totalizes. Our purpose with these documentations that at once show the world as it is and defamiliarize experience enables us, as Tim Ingold writes, to recover the sense of what it means to inhabit the world. In our work, we have worked towards decentering the human as a subject by taking part in exercises of listening to things that are not generally considered to create sound, such as bark, moss, stones, and water, as well as using microscopes and magnifiers to zoom in beyond the limits of humans' natural perception. Believing that the world's boundaries of expressiveness are larger than our perception is capable of, we ask, how can we become more in tune and aligned with life processes by privileging that which is beyond human perception? We chose Scalar for a number of reasons. It's free and open source. It provides multiple ways of organizing nodes, including nested and nonlinear paths. Scalar let us create a borderless text with interactive maps and YouTube videos of the news anchoring our work in the historical real, as well as data visualizations tools such as CO2 monitors. And it supports collaborative authoring and, if desired, reader commentary, supporting the kind of dialogism that informs our approach. We built this last year. We're now encountering a series of crises. Scalar, probably a victim of federal grant cutting, means experiencing blackouts with poor communication to users. We transferred Solastalgia to a server in Canada where we were told we can only count on it for 4 more years. We are wondering about a number of things that we know other DH scholars are worrying about too. DH projects are perpetually subject to vanishing. Is Scalar going the way of Flash and Adobe Aero, Niantic Studios, Mozilla Hub? As Canadians, we also think about data sovereignty. What are the alternatives? A loss of Scalar leaves a critical hole in DH. We find ourselves at a crossroad, having to choose which priorities will govern how we work in the foreseeable future as we imagine what kind of future we want. What we know is that DH needs to continue to design in ways that resist dominant ideologies and discourses. Designers should prioritize ways of making connections, cultivating, not obliterating epistemic complexity and integrity. The most important thing is our relationship to the real world. Anthropocene is accelerated by US administration, and the normalization of Gen AI in workflows that have any kind of documentary or critical function is making a terrible error. Academic institutions need to resist pressures from capitalist entities that seek to integrate for-profit tools in institutional infrastructures and invasive systems that should absolutely not be tied to profit margins over data-based research and ethics and pedagogical principles. Thank you. We're happy to take questions.